example, Chacham Ovadia Yosef. He accomplished so much. He built so much Torah. And one of the stories that his son, Rav Yitzchak Yosef, the chief rabbi, said over, is that Chacham Ovadia was younger, before September time, before Elul, when the school year starts in Israel, he would go on the bus with applications of schools. He will do his research. Where is there a religious school in different towns? He would get the applications to apply for the schools and make a bunch of copies. Back then, that wasn't easy. And now everything was chick-chack. You emailed to me and I printed. It wasn't like that. For Chacham Ovadia, it was a lot of work. But he got a bunch of applications of different schools. He hopped on the buses and he went from town to town, knocking on doors, from town to town, going around saying, Abotai, you got to send your kids to Jewish schools. He went to the shuls between Mincha and Ma'ariv and he said, all of you have to send your kids to Jewish schools, and here is the application. He worked and he worked and he worked. Do you think he saw Hatzlacha right away? Do you think Chacham at that time saw thousands of kids listening to him right away going to Jewish schools? No, that did not happen instead of Yitzchak Yosef. It took time, but Chacham Ovadia was consistent. He brought out the message and he pushed and he pushed. He tried his best. He went around, even though he did not see success right away, but ultimately because he did his best, to Hashem, you did everything. And by the way, at the end of the day, Chacham Ovadia, at the end of his life, did see pirot. He did see the fruits of his labor, and Baruch Hashem, thousands, if not millions already, I think by now it's millions in Eretz Yisrael, went to Jewish schools because of the work of Chacham Ovadia Yosef that he put into effort. And like of Shlomo Lawrence, the famous Askin, the famous politician, the religious one of Shlomo Lawrence, Zechet Tzaddik V'Kadosh V'Rocha, he said over the same story that he one time hopped on the bus and he saw Chacham Ovadia Yosef on the bus and he told him, what are you doing here? He tells him, what do you mean? Right now I got to work. I'm going around to different towns, knocking on doors for applications to apply for a school. Chacham Ovadia, he is an example of a tzaddik, of a gadol that learned 24/7. And he told himself, how is it possible to convince thousands of Jews to take them away from public schools and put them in Jewish schools? That takes a lot of work to sit with the parents. But he told himself, this Yisrael, Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, your job is to do whatever you could. You can hop on the bus, you can go knock on doors, whatever happens, happens, but you do your best. You try and put in your effort. And that is what Chacham Ovadia Yosef did. What a tremendous lesson, Rabotai. You do what you could, and we can do a lot if we look at it that way. If we all fulfill our potential of doing whatever we are capable of doing, that's already a lot. The problem is that some of us compromise on ourselves. Some of us tell ourselves that we're not worth it. Who am I to do this? But it's not true. Every single one of us has tremendous kochot, has tremendous talents, has a lot to accomplish in this world. There's a lot to do.